Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel again. So in the previous video we have completed this creating this employee endpoints and for this login endpoint. So we have created these 8 APIs, and in this video we are going to target how we can integrate this API with our Angular web application. So let me just show you the Angular application. So this is what we have now. We have the sign up and login. We have already created this. If you just go on YouTube and search for this on my YouTube channel, then you can find it. Alright, so I will highly recommend you guys to watch my previous video if you haven't watched it. So please go ahead and create this form and create this API endpoint so that you can start with this video which I am going to cover now. Okay, so what is our first thing I have to do? I have to integrate this sign up API first. Okay, so let me just check what all things are required for sign up. So I can see we need to have full name, username, password. Let me zoom a bit and then I can show you. We need these 5 things. Okay, so let me just compare it with our sign up form. So I have only full name, mobile, email and password. So let me create one user type select as well. So it will be a drop down from where I can select the user type. So let me go inside our code of HTML. So let's go into your sign up component.html and add one more select statement for that. So let me say div.form group and let me copy a select from Bootstrap. So if you go on the Bootstrap, just search for select here and it will show this option for you. Just copy this option, copy the clipboard and just paste it here. Okay, so I will require 2 options that I can select 2 things. I can select one as admin user while signing up and as employee. Okay, and let me just say that select user type, a placeholder, say select user type. Let me have a class for this as text muted so that it should look gray. Save and check how it looks. Okay, so this is what it is. Select user type, admin and employee we can select. Let me add some padding top. So I'll use the class. So this text muted is really not required. It is not changing that. So let me remove it. Okay, and let me add here a class to this form group as empty 4 because we are using Bootstrap classes. So you can use this the way I am doing it. So now we have a good gap now between password and select user type. Okay, so from here I can select employee or admin. Okay, so now what I have to integrate is I have to integrate this full name, mobile, email, password and this user type. Let me create a label as well for this guy. So let me copy this label. Paste as user type. Save it and let's check. Okay, user type is there. It looks good. Let me decrease this to 2. Yes, now it looks much better. Okay, alright, so now for this user type I have to create a form control again. Okay, so let me first create a form control by going here on my TS. So inside the TS I will have one more required field which is my user type. Okay, will be blank or validator dot required. Right, so now this user type I have to go and use on my form control. So how we can do it? Just go inside the select and just write the name as form control name and give the same name which we have copied, the user type. Okay, and now this will have validation, so we have to put that this form is required. So let me just copy this on the top. So if you see on the top we have this. Just copy this span and just do what I do. Just do whatever I'm doing here right now. So below this select, just paste this and just say sign up form dot. What is the control name? The control name should be match with this. So it is my user type. If the form is dirty and if the form has a required field for the form control, user type. Again, copy this user type and paste it here. And I can say that user type is required. Okay. user type is required. If I save it and let me check the validation is working or not. Okay, we go here and check the validation. If I say admin, it works. If I say anything else, then it should throw a message. So why it is not showing? Let me just check that. Okay, here if you see, the form control is incorrect. Okay, so this name should be form control name, and yep. And what I need to do is I need to set a value blank for this. Okay, I need to give a value blank, empty value, and for this, whenever someone is selecting admin, it should take value as admin, and for employee it should take as employee. Okay, let me save this and let me go on the browser and check the validations again. Okay, if I go here, if I select admin, it's good, but if I select, so it tells user type is required, which means our validation is working. Okay, so now we will try to integrate this sign up API because we have everything ready now. So how I can do it? So let us just check that. Okay, so now if you see here our API endpoint, we are going to use this endpoint now. Okay, so on the top, just copy this URL localhost 4000 44371. Just copy till here and paste inside our, because we have already created a sign up API. So if you go inside our shared folder in the API service, so we will have to create a sign up API. So let us just create that very quickly. So I'll say sign up, right? And the sign up will expect an object. Okay, so it will accept an employee object. So I'll say emp obj, right? And it will return this dot http. We are doing a post call, so a post call of type any, and inside this I will pass the URL. Okay, let me paste this URL. Okay, URL, and then API slash, we have to copy the rest of these things, API slash sign up. Where is that? Okay, yeah, API slash login slash sign up, because this is the API endpoint for post call for signing up the user. So let me copy this and let me paste it till here and control V. Alright, so what it is expect, it is a post call, so I need to send this object as well while posting it. So I'll say emp object. That's all. This is how I have created the API endpoint. So what best I can do is I can copy this, because this is going to be a common. So let me copy till here. Let me control X and let's go on the top and create a property. Let me create a public property as login URL. Login API URL of type string, and this will be this. Okay, and now we will use the concatenation. So what we can do here, we can just say this dot and then the login API URL, and we can concatenate in this way, or we can use the new latest feature of ECMAScript. So this two thing, and then we can just say, all right, so inside this a $, and I can say this dot our login API URL. All right, and then I can just say sign up. Before here, after this, we can just say sign up, SIGNUP. That's all. Okay, this will also work, or if you still want to follow the old way, then you can follow that as well. So let me have a comment on the top and let me do that as well, because people are not familiar with this, so they can use this one. Let me just paste it and let me just do it here. Let me remove this till here and let me say this dot login API URL, and then that old method concatenation sign up. Okay, I'm just commenting it just for your reference. Okay, so this is how we have created the sign up API URL. Let me save it and let me check if this is working or not. Okay, this sign up will be called inside our sign up controller, or we can say sign up component. So this is inside our service. So let's go inside our sign up component and inject this API service. All right, so let me inject it very quickly. Let me say private API service, and this API service I will try to use here, try to replace it with this logic. So we don't need this logic anymore because we were using previously localhost, like the what we say that fake JSON server. So now we have already created our own API, so no need of using this logic now. So let me comment this code and let me create a fresh record below it. Okay, so I'll say this dot API dot sign up, and this sign up accepts an object. Okay, so that object will be coming from our form. So I'll say this dot sign up form dot value. Okay, so I pass the object and I say subscribe, and inside the response I can call the same thing which I have called on the top here, that I want to alert that sign up is successful, or best if you see here in our API whenever we are signing up successfully. So let me remove it with this ID and let me try to use it once. Let me try to do it from the API point and then I can try the same by that. Let me execute it. I'm just passing this random string values. Okay, so I can see I get two things. I get an object with a status code 200 and a message. So what we will do is we will try to use this message for our alert. Okay, we will not hard code by ourselves, we will try to use that alert. So in the response we are getting an object like this, so I will use this message object to show our message, show our alert. So I'll say alert response dot message. Okay, this will alert, and I have to reset the form, so I'll copy this, resetting the form. So once my sign up is done, I want to reset it and I want to send it to the login page again. Okay, I'll go here and send it to the login page. Okay, let me save it and let me check on the browser how it works. Okay, now I will add one employee. So let me add employee name as Jason Muller, email as jason@gmail.com, password as 123456, maybe I can just have 123 for the ease, and this guy will be an employee. So user type is employee, and if I click on the sign up, so it will go and hit our database, and it will go and hit our backend server, and the backend will send data to our platform. So it is taking some time, so let's check in the network tab what actually things are happening. So if you see here, it is throws an error called as CORS, and why this CORS error has occurred, because of this origins. Okay, because the backend origin is running on 44371 and we are sending, and this request is coming from this particular guy 4200. So this is the reason of creating a CORS problem, and today we will also learn how we can configure CORS in our backend. So let me just go inside my .NET Core application and let me go in the startup.cs class, because every configuration is done inside this configure service. So let me try, let me just stop our application here and let me try to add a service for adding a CORS configuration. So I'll say services dot add CORS. Okay, so I have to add this CORS service, and this CORS service will have, and let me take an option for that, and I can say that o dot add a policy. I need to add one policy. Okay, so whenever I add a policy, I want to give the policy name. So let me give a CORS policy, the name as CORS policy, and I will use a builder to build our project, to build that particular CORS. So I'll say builder. Okay, all right, and now this will add all the whatever thing we are required. So first thing, we have to have our allow any headers, because we can allow any headers whatever I feel like. I can allow any origins, like if it is localhost 4200 or it is localhost some different, maybe I'm not sure, because for React it is localhost 3000, so that can be anything. So first thing I'll have to say that okay, builder dot allow, see here it is saying allow any origin, so I will allow any origin. Okay, and then I will also say allow dot allow any method. Okay, so allow any method, like method means get, put, post, delete. Any method will be allowed for this CORS policy, and also we can allow any headers. So let's say dot allow any header. Okay, so our configuration is done, but this is not complete. This is incomplete. Why? Because we have to use it. Okay, in our pipeline we have to trigger this in our pipeline. So I'll say here in the configure, just say app dot use CORS. Okay, in the second one you can see. All right, and just give the name of the policy which you have given on the top. So just copy this policy name, copy it, paste it here, and yeah, there you go. So in this way we have configured our CORS. Let me save it and let me run the application and check if things are working or not. So let this guy run and then we'll wait till that. So the build is success. On the left you can see it again runs our backend. Alright, so now let's go here and let me again click on sign up, and let me go in the network tab to see the response. I can see response 200 and I can see sign up successful as well. If I press OK, it is throwing me back. So let me just confirm that and let me check in my database if if user is added or not. See, if I refresh this, if I press on this grid, I can see that okay, so our JSON has been added, but there is a problem that it is not taking this username value. So let us check why it is happening. So to fix that error, I think I have to go inside my this. Alright, so I know what the problem here is. Because of this username mismatch, if you see inside our model, so we have to create the same user model just like this. Okay, so we'll try to go ahead and create that. Let me create a model first in the TS file as well, and so that we can do that. Okay, so how we can create a model is we will go inside the shared and we will create a folder called as model. Okay, and we can give the same name as the user model. Okay, user.model.ts. We'll just say export class and user model, and inside this I will have the same thing whichever I have here: ID, full name, username, password, mobile, and user type. Okay, so I will have ID of type number, then I will have full name of type string. Let me create it and then I can show you what exactly I want to do here. Okay, so what else I had username, password, mobile, and user type. So I'll have username, password, mobile, and user type. Right, and now I will create an instance of this model to use inside this. So I'll go inside my sign up, and here inside this I will create the sign up object. Okay, so I'll create a public sign up. Okay, sign up obj is equals to new sign up. Okay, it was a user model, so it will of type user model. Okay, so user model. Right, so I've created an object of that, and now I can use this sign up object. Okay, so whenever I want to send my form, I'll send in this way. I'll say this dot sign up object dot full name. I can take the full name from this dot sign up form. Okay, sign up form dot value dot full name. Okay, so let me copy this like 3 times, maybe like 4 times. And now let me change this to username and copy this username and paste it here. Then this will be as my password. Then user type. The last one is mobile. Okay. So let me save this, and now whenever I send my object, so I will send this sign up object which I have created now. So I'll say this dot sign up object, and this object will go to my backend, and this will from the backend will get stored into my database. So let's just try to send the value from the application itself. So first of all, let me remove this debug points. This is not needed. Okay, so let me go here in my application and let me click here to sign up. Let me give the name as John, password as 123, and user type as employee. Okay, and if I click on the sign up button, I can see sign up successful. Let me check in the database if I have the same thing or not. So let me open up my instance and let me check the database which we are using. So we are using employee management DB. So let me open up this, or it was employee DB. Let me just check that. Okay, so it was employee management DB where I have this TBL user. If I go here, I can check John, and with the email also has been now coming here. So here you can see the full name, email, password, mobile, and user type as well. So now let me just try to log in with this credential. Okay, so for that I need to have the API integrated. So let me try to do the API integration for login as well. If I go in the login component, if I see here, so previously I was using this local host 3000, which was that fake JSON server. So we will try to replace this with our new logic. So let me go ahead and comment this code. Okay, and let me fix those errors. What are those? Okay, so let me remove this. That's all. And in the service, I will go ahead and create one service for my login. So for login also, I am sending two things. I am sending the email object as the particular parameter. I'm sending the employee object, sorry, as the parameter. So I'll go ahead and use this method called as login, and inside this I will send emp obj of type any, and this will do the same thing. So let me copy this from the top and let me paste it here. So just confirm that your URL should match. So for that we have to check our Swagger API URL. So for login we have this login slash, then we have this small login. So what, let us just check that if it is the same. So if you see here on the top, I have this API URL, login API URL. Okay, and I just need to change this to login. That's all, and now I can use this method inside my login component. So I'll just say that okay, this dot, and what things I get, I'll get that API dot. Okay, first of all I need to inject it, so let me inject. So that's the reason it was not, it is showing error. So let me inject it first. How I can do it? It's quite simple, same like the previous one, API slash API service, and now I can call the method called as login. Okay, and in the login it expects an object. So what we can say, I can say this dot login form. Okay, login form dot, and I can send the any value whichever I want to send. So what I can do here is I can create the same object instance here as well, whatever I have created for the model, for the user model. So I'll say public login obj is equals to new user model, because we are using the user model to pass the data, object data. And now from the login form I'll get email and password, correct? So what I'll do here is I'll just say this dot my login object login obj dot, what things I need username. So I'll get this username from this dot login form. Okay, form dot value
dot email. Okay, and what will be the password? The same. I'll copy this whole and paste it here, and this time password, and this will be changed to the password of the form. If you see, these two names is coming from this email, and this password is coming from this password value, okay, the login form value. And I'll send this login object, okay. And what I can do now, I can subscribe this method. So I'll say dot subscribe. Let me do that on the next line. So I'll say dot subscribe, and if the response is success, then you can alert response dot message. Okay, and what I'll need to do, I need to route it to the dashboard page. So I'll say this dot, I'll say the router dot navigate to my dashboard page. So let me just check what is the API routing we have. We have this dashboard, so I have to route that guy to the dashboard page. So from this line, I'll just tell that navigate to dashboard if the login is success. Okay, if I save it, let me save it here as well. Now no errors. Let's go on the browser, and let me just take the credential from the database. So I'll say john@gmail.com, and the password is 123 123, and I hit on login. So it will go ahead and check. So let me just check. Okay, I can see the login is successful on the top, and I am coming onto the dashboard page. Okay, so in this way we have integrated our login API and our sign up API. Okay, let me try to do with another credentials. Let me just check for this guy if things are working like same. Let me copy it first, and the password is 123456. 123456. If I click login again, I can see login is success, and I am into my system, into my dashboard page. All right, and now for displaying the records here, employee ID, first name, last name, mobile, salary, and stuff. So we have to integrate the API which we have created, this one. So we will integrate these 5 API now. So first of all, we'll check for this get all employees. Okay, so let me quickly go here in my TS file, in my API service. So we have already did it for our get employee, but this was with the local server. So we will try to replace this with our own API URLs. Okay, so this will be the same. So let me just create a replica of this with a different property name as employee API URL. Okay, so let me copy this, let me remove this login, and let me say employee API URL, and this will be, we have to give the name, we have to check the endpoint name. So this is your API slash employee, so we need to have this employee here. Okay, so remove login, and it will be employee employee. Oh sorry, not this one, this one. Okay, and now we can integrate this with our, this first one is our get employee. So what we will say, very simple. So we can do the concatenation, or we can use this two backticks, and then I can just say simply that inside the dollar like this dot, what is that, my employee API URL. Okay, and for getting all employees, I have to use this endpoint get all employees. Okay, so let me just write it down here, get underscore all underscore PLOYEES. That's it. And this will do the get call for us. And first let me check if we have employee records or not. So I'll just go here and I'll check. Okay, I do have 3 records here. Okay, and I can say this records is empty. So we will check that if things are empty there or not, or I can write it from here. Let me just update this, alex@gmail.com, or we could have done by using our update call also. Okay, so let me hit on apply. Yes, so now everything has a, so I can see these 1 3 4 and all this data there in the get call. So let me save this. Okay, let me go on the browser itself and let me check how things are working. Okay, I can see there is one error. It says object, and I know what is the error for this, because we have previously used an array. All right, so this is sending an object. if you go here, get employee call, if I execute this, so I can see it is returning an object. Okay, and previously we are doing it for array. So whenever you see this kind of array, which means we are setting the response as an object, so we have to make it an array. So let's just try to do that. So I'll go inside this employee dashboard, and inside here I can see that get employee call, so it should be response dot. Okay, and after the dot I have to copy this employee details, so it should be employee details, which is an array. So if I copy this and paste it here, now it will take response dot employee details inside this employee data. If I save this, now if I go on the browser and check, I can see all the records, and these records are coming from my database. And we are using the actual API here, not the fake JSON server. So every data is now on the database. Alright. And now let us integrate this add employee. It is very simple when we were doing it previously. So what we will do, we will just go here and change the API URL. So go inside this API service.ts, and here you have to use this. So let me copy this and let me paste it here for the post employee. All I have to do is just I have to change this guy. So what is the name which we have to use? Add employee. So let me change that to add employee. So I'll say add employee. If I save it, let me just try to add and check if we are facing any error or everything is good. So I click on this add employee. I give first name as I'm very bad with names, by the way. So I'll give name as Raju, last name as Singh, and raju@gmail.com. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, some random number, and salary as 60,200. If I click on add, okay, so my debug point is coming proper. So if I go here and say play, and I can see Raju is added. Okay, which means our add employee is also working. Let me try to do add one more record just for a double check. So I will add one more as, I think I have Alex already, one of my favorite. So I can add Jason now, Jason Muller, as an employee here. So as jason@gmail.com, and some random number again, and salary as 58,000. If I click on add, I can see Jason has added successfully. Okay, and it is getting updated as well at the same time. And let me just do it for update call. All right, so for update, this will be a little bit tricky. So this thing will remain the same. I'll have to copy the same URL on the top, copy it and paste it here. I don't need ID now. Previously we were using ID, but this time we don't need any IDs, because because database is only expecting an object. If you see our API endpoint, this is only expecting an object like this. So that's the reason I removed the ID. I just need this. And let me fix the error from here as well. I don't need ID now. Okay, let's go inside our service. Let me just update this API endpoint, because this is called as update now, update employee. So I have to get rid of this add. We'll say update employee, and it will take in data to update it. Okay, and if I go here in this employee dashboard, and now this guy needs an ID, so I need to pass an ID name, and I can see the employee object is already created for this. So let me just check that the name and everything is intact or not. Accordingly I'll change. So I have to match this with my this record. Okay, so I'll do that the same, because just to have that uniqueness. So in the employee record I will have the same like this. So I'll copy this stuff here and paste it here. So everything will be just like our backend. And this is my ID. Okay, if I see everything is same, and now here I have to fix those things. Like this will be my first name, my last name, email, mobile, and my salary. Alright, and from this line I have to, whenever I click on this on edit, I need to send some data. So I'll say first name here as well, last name, email. It will not throw error guys, but just to have the uniqueness I am doing that, so that it should match with my backend stuff, so that's why. Okay, and whenever I click on this on edit, I want to send this ID, so this ID will also be replaced by that, and I can see no error is there. Now if I save all, now if I go here and try to update the record, let me just do it very quickly. I'll update the salary to 60,000. Let me remove this 2 and let me add 0. Click on update. I can see update successful, and I can see the value is also updated here. Okay, so in this way our update is also working. So the last thing which we have to do is our delete. So let us first check what delete is expecting. So in this delete, I can see this is expecting an query params with this ID, and we have to use this endpoint delete employee slash ID. So let us just try to replicate that in our API service. Alright, so if I go inside this delete, I'll remove this as well. Let me copy this and then I'll paste it here. Control V, update employee. I need a slash and then this ID. Okay, because it takes an ID which I have to delete. So this should be delete employee. Let me remove this, change the name to delete employee. Let me just see. Yeah, things are here, and slash ID. I want to pass the ID which I want to delete. So that's all. So this is what it is. If I save it, and now if I go on the browser, see, things are very fast for us because we have already did that in JSON, fake JSON. So that is the reason we just have to change the API endpoint and things are working. Let me delete this record. It asks for, are you sure want to delete? I'll say yes, and I can see delete successful and record has been updated. Alright guys, so yeah, so this was all about the integrating our backend with your Angular. So now we have integrated the API, the actual API call. We are doing actual API call here, which we have integrated as well with our Angular code. And in this way you can just do it, and in whenever you're working in your project, so in this way you can follow all the steps to do at your own. Alright, and now for the future videos, I'll say that I will be implementing role-based guard, like role-based auth guard here as well, that role guard and also the auth guard. If you see the problem here, that I can directly access the dashboard page from here without even login. Okay, so we have to restrict the user. If the user is not logged in, then he should be restricted. Okay, and before that we will be having a session on JWT token, how we can create a token based authentication and authorization in our Angular project. So I will be creating a JSON web token for you guys where we can authenticate our APIs, so that if once the token is generated, then only we can go inside the page, else it will not allow to access it from the route. So there are two things which is pending for creating this complete application, end-to-end application. All right, so yeah, so this was all about today's video, and if you feel that this video has helped you, then please give a thumbs up. Alright, and you can share this with your friends so that they can also learn this beautiful Angular framework. Alright, and if you have any doubt related to this project or you need some help in your project, then you can contact me on my Telegram channel. So the link will be there in the description below.